Hey everyone, this is Prashant. Today I want to talk about AI driven prototyping tools for product managers. When a product manager has an idea, today's AI tools give product managers the opportunity to test that idea out and build that idea slowly but steadily, and then take it to a point where they can actually hand over that code to engineers and designers for further design and further development. The criteria that I set for myself is the tools and the process should work for someone with no programming background. And the second criteria was it should work completely in the cloud, because product managers sometimes may not have the permissions to install many things on their desk, and they may not be very comfortable with yeah, installing things, working on consoles and things like that. So with that in mind, I asked GPT-4o, what tools can I use. Obviously I need a programming language, and then I need some kind of a version control tool. And these are the steps it recommended, and it said you can do this in about 4 to 6 weeks, and you can get good at it. But I was able to go through the entire process within about 4 to 5 hours. It wasn't pretty difficult, so I would like to walk you through it, and hopefully you will get the confidence that someone like me who hasn't programmed in a very very long time, if I can do it, you can do it too. So first, you create a Replit account. Replit is a development environment, which is an AI-powered development environment. You create a Replit account, which I already did, and then you can create your first Python project. So let's start building our first Python project. Um, so this project is called Mood Tracker. This is a small app called Mood Tracker. It asks you how you're feeling today, and when you respond, it logs your mood. And then we will expand and add some functionality and see how we can do it. How that code is written, who writes the code, how do you run it, what do you do when you run into some issues, who can help you with it, and so on. So let's say first it says, okay, I literally followed what GPT-4o asked me to do. It says create an app, and so let me go ahead and say create an app. And first it says, okay, search, and based on a template. I said, okay, based on a template, and I'm going to use the Python template, and I'm going to name the app Mood Tracker, Mood Tracker 2. It is private, and I'm going to say create the app. So that this now creates the application um, with no code in it, and it also brings up the assistant screen. This is the coding assistant. If we I can ask the coding assistant to do things, and the coding assistant will build the app for me. I do not have to program anything. Now, because I started with GPT-4o, chat GPT-4o, it's giving me the code. So I'm going to start with that code by simply copying and pasting. I understand what the code does. I don't understand the syntax, but I have an idea what it does. So I'm going to simply copy this, and it says in the main.py file, which is the Python file, paste this code. So I'm going to paste it here. And then it says click the run button at the top. I want to run and see what it does. And I go to console, and it's asking me, how are you feeling today? And I'm going to say, I'm feeling good. Um, and your mood has been saved. See you tomorrow. So what it did is it logged my response. I said good in the mood.log text file. In other words, it's tracking my mood. So the next step is it says connect your Replit to your GitHub. I already connected my Replit to my GitHub. It was a point and click exercise. It was pretty straightforward. If you follow what GPT-4o says, you should be able to do it. I was able to publish my files to GitHub. I was able to make some changes and then publish and see the different commits and so on. Now let's go and see how we can expand this application and add more functionality. On the way, if I ran into issues, what I did was I took a screenshot of my Replit screen. I gave it to GPT-4o and said, okay, this is what's happening. What do you think? And it gave me feedback. It read my screen and it gave me feedback about where I am and what I'm doing. For example, here it said, great, you're off to a perfect start. From your screenshot, I can see that you've already written and successfully run your Python program. And you're using the Replit paid plan, which is I have the $20 per month, $25 per month plan. But the Git integration sidebar is not visible, and it walked me through the Git integration process, which was fairly straightforward. Even for someone who's not a developer, who doesn't do things every day, it was pretty straightforward. Um, and then finally, I connected Replit to GitHub, and I said, here it is. I connected Git. I connect, and these are my commits, and I can see all the commit information. And it said, okay, perfect. You're officially up and running as a modern developer. Most developers, this is what they do. They develop a program, they commit to a repository, and they work on their things. So then the next step is, okay, now you've built a basic program. Now, what if you want to add functionality to it? How do you do it? And the next functionality I wanted to add was add date and time to my mood response. So when I say good, it should track the date and time and write it to a log file. Now I can copy this code and paste it here, but let's do something different. I'm going to this time I'm going to ask the uh, coding assistant, which is powered by Claude 3.5 Sonnet v2, and I'm going to say update the code to add current date next to the mood. So I'm going to ask it to update code to add current date next to the mood and log that information. Okay, so I'm telling the coding assistant in plain English what functionality that I want to be added, kind of like a small use case, right? Not in a use case format, but I'm telling it in plain English. So let's see what it does. So it's saying, okay, it's doing some work, and it says, I'll help you update the code to include the current date alongside the mode entry. This change will now log entries in this particular format. I can preview the code changes and see if I need to change anything. In this case, I really don't understand the syntax of this code, so I'm going to trust that the coding assistant knows what it is doing, and I'm going to apply the changes. And then obviously I want to test it. How are you feeling today? And I'm going to say I'm feeling good. And when I do this, it should, in the log file, in the mood log.txt, it should log the not only my response but also the date and time. In this case, it has logged that information in there. Now, I can go and add more capabilities to this, such as I can add a UI on top of it. I can visualize the log file as a graph, as a report, and so on. Which is what I did. I actually let's go to the file where I actually did that and look at that information. So, for example, if I um, actually added more capabilities to this application, and let's see what a visual version of this application looks like. And I did this exactly how I did this. I either copied and pasted code from GPT-4o, or I asked the Replit coding assistant to actually write the code for me. And it said, okay, this is your mood tracker. How are you feeling today? Let's say I'm just going to say I'm feeling productive. Wrote a program and submit the mood. It automatically shows the confirmation message, and then it then shows me the log file, and it also shows me a graph of the mood frequency, which is from this mood log.csv file. Looking at all this information and then showing that information here. Now, all this was done without any coding, or without frankly any major debugging. This way of building prototypes is going to be very valuable for product managers. It goes beyond clickable mocks, which are usually created by a product manager and a designer. Designer usually creates the mocks, and they work together to create clickable mocks to see how it works. But having a functional prototype like this, um, accompanied by a product definition document, is going to significantly uh, improve the productivity and speed of development and innovation in a company. So that has been my takeaway so far. And finally, if I can do this in a day, I think most product managers in the world should be able to do this. Do this within a day as well, and benefit from it. I hope that helps. Thank you for your time.